you know what? Maybe they tank this year. They got RG3. They don't take a quarterback. And is that paraphrasing it correctly, McLovin?
That's pretty close.
All right, let me bring in Ross Tucker. Is that your Browns theory here, Ross?
I don't think it's a conspiracy theory, Dan. It's just taking a look at what they've done so far. I mean, they were 3-13. They let 4 of their 6 best players leave via free agency. They let their 2 leading tacklers. They just cut Carlos Dansby and Dante Whitner, their 2 leading tacklers. They don't need to tank, Dan. They are very clearly the worst team in the NFL. I mean, Tennessee and San Francisco might be in the running, but the Browns are going to be historically bad next year. And with everything they're doing, all these Harvard guys are taking a really long-term view of this thing. I think they have to consider the very real possibility that they're going to have the number 1 pick in this year's draft. Deshaun Watson is a terrific prospect, a terrific quarterback. And so one option they might have, and they might already be ahead of us here, is sign RG3 for a year. If RG3 somehow plays great, they have him under contract for next year. If he gets destroyed, like I expect he probably will, as the team will, why not take a really good player at number 2, a really good player at the top of round number 2, get some good players, and then draft Deshaun Watson number 1 overall next year, because there's a very strong likelihood in my mind they'll have the number 1 pick.
But if I said you could take Deshaun Watson or Carson Wentz, who are you taking?
I'd probably take Carson Wentz, and that's just based on, calling the FCS championship game the last couple of years. I am a really, really big believer in him, but I don't know how the Browns feel about that. That's how I feel about it. But Deshaun Watson looks pretty darn good, too. I just know this much, Dan. If they're really as smart as they're pretending to be, or as smart as they think they are, then don't you have to do some research into what quarterbacks would be available next year before you pull the trigger on Wentz or Goff or whoever?
Yeah, I have to know if Carson Wentz is a franchise quarterback, and there's a lot of guesswork in that as well. But if he's too good to pass up, then I take him. If I feel like he and Deshaun Watson are similar or about the same, as far as how great they're going to be, then I would trade that number 2 pick. I'd trade down, get out of it, get more picks, and then try to build something here for the future. But it's the Cleveland Browns. They find the banana peel just about every year.
I'm still trying to figure out why they even signed RG3 in the first place. I mean, if you take Carson Wentz with the number 2 overall pick, why did you sign RG3? To play until Wentz is ready? Well, I mean, Josh McCown can play better for the Browns until Wentz is ready. Did you sign RG3 to be a mentor? Josh McCown is that's what he is. He's a great mentor for young quarterbacks. So I think them signing RG3 gave as much credence to my theory as anything. That and the fact that they are by far the worst team in the NFL for the 2016 season.
Will they win a game next season?
Yes, I think Hugh Jackson has enough up his sleeve for them to win a game, but man, I don't know what the over-under is in Vegas, but as soon as we hang up, I might have to call and get the under as soon as possible. Because you know the way that is, Dan, they never have an over-under of less than 5. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no chance the Browns win 5 games next year. No chance. Everybody listening should call and take the under right now.
Do we know what the over-under for wins is with the Cleveland Browns in Vegas, guys? Yeah, we're going to have to check on that. All right. Hey, thanks for joining us. Thanks for giving McLovin some ammo there. Because I think until I started to be critical of it to a certain degree, he was going to take credit for it. So then he started to blame you after that. Thanks for joining us, Ross.
It happened. No problem.
All right, Ross Tucker.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings on Audience.